with you. Flip a doujin in the bed, I'm reading manga till it's 2. Tell me that you love us if I go, I'm knowing that it's true. Cause you acting all moe and vanilla in my view. So this is for them waifus, straight 2D flex in my life, fool. If you fuck with hentai, you my dude. Let the beat right out, keep it nice and smooth, yo.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Weeabooze, the anime podcast where some of the most unqualified people try to answer your anime questions. I'm Kyle.
I'm Sam.
And unfortunately, Jeremy is not here with us tonight, but we do have a new addition to the podcast. Hunter, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up? I'm Hunter.
Last week we...
Perfect.
Yeah,
what am I supposed to say?
Everyone knows Hunter. Last week when we introduced ourselves...
If you don't know what to say, drink.
Yeah. I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about our background in anime. Why don't you explain yours a little bit?
Okay, so on my anime list, I'm probably the person with the least watched. I think I'm at about 30 series total, and that includes movies. Yeah, it's low. But I'm the person that likes all the just... If there's like tits and explosions, it's pretty much perfect. So like Gurren Lagann or... Kill la Kill.
Great.
He's the anti-Sam. Did you watch last episode?
So it's good. We have a variety of people, and we live up to our tagline of being incredibly unqualified. So, with that being said, I think we should just jump right into it. So, the first question is from an anonymous user, and they ask, why do some people love Attack on Titan and some people hate it? In my opinion, it probably has one of the best concepts, storylines, character development I've seen out of other anime.
I don't know, Kyle. Why do you hate it?
Oh yeah.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just I feel like it doesn't live up to the hype, or the hype is not justified.
Yeah, I think the reason why I think it falls into two reasons. First off, gonna clarify, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I'm excited for season 2. I want it to happen. I think the reason why people don't like shows like that, though, one, they get overhyped, and a show as... I don't want to say that Attack on Titan, like, started a new genre, but it almost kicked off a new trend. Would you agree with that?
I don't see
kind
how.
Of trend? What do you mean?
Well, like... oh, God. I don't know how to explain it. Like, the little versus really big, just like the versus Titan thing. I don't know.
Like David Goliath?
Okay, it almost like reinvigorated anime. Is that fair?
Yeah, you could say that.
I think that's what I mean. So, like, it was a big kick in anime.
I think what you mean, it's like, it's one of those shows
it's
that even non-anime watchers have, like, heard of.
Yeah, it's like the flavor of the month anime. And I think there's a lot of people, mostly hardcore fans, that tend to dislike, whether purposefully or not purposefully, they tend to dislike flavor of the month shows.
Yeah, like somebody
just because they're like, oh, well, of course everyone's gonna like this.
Yeah, like DBZ or Naruto. Like, people hate it just because it's super popular.
But that's exactly the point. People have always hated popular things, but for good reason. Just think of Marvel movies or pop music. Those are things that just apply to the masses. And when they apply to the masses, they
lack substance. I see what you're saying, but I don't feel like that's fair on Attack on Titan because it doesn't lack substance. Like, the characters are really cool, unique, individual. I think the story's pretty solid.
See, I would argue that it does lack substance.
Potato Girl?
Dude, Potato Girl was the best.
That's a bad thing if she was the best.
Okay, she's not actually the best.
Like, she's not literally the best. Levi is the best, and Mikasa follows real closely.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
But, like, Levi was so overpowered they, like, broke his leg and, like...
And he still fucked people up. Dude, the helicopter spin?
Dude, yeah, where he's, like, turned into a Jedi and it... Oh.
Yeah. How can you not like that? Have you even watched it?
I'm fighting a losing
He,
battle
literally
talking to you
turns
guys.
into a Beyblade and, like, fucking goes up to the thing's arm.
Yeah.
Well, I won't deny that Attack on Titan is really entertaining, but what this anonymous person said, like, it has the best, like, concept, storyline, character development out of any other anime. No way.
I don't think it has the best of, like, all those things. I will say I love the soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
I love the soundtrack producer. That guy does, like, so many good things. He does that, Blue Exorcist. Did he do Kill la Kill? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he did.
He did Kill la Kill. He did Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, If he touches a soundtrack, it's fucking amazing.
It's Hiroto something.
I'm not sure, but like I said, I might have said it last week, is that soundtracks trick you into thinking something is better than it actually is.
That's why Guilty Crown's so good. It's literally just the soundtrack.
That's why you think Guilty Crown is so
Okay,
good.
it's horrible, but the soundtrack made it like worthwhile.
And then
it makes it a fond memory.
And then there is good character development in the series. Like you can't, like I don't see how you could argue that there's not. Like you see people fundamentally completely change from the beginning to the end when they see people like die in front of them.
Arwen's one of the biggest people that changed from the beginning to the end.
No, I think Armin is like, I think one of the reasons I don't like Armin is because he is the bitch in the anime series. At least he's not the main character.
He's the bitch.
He just
but, like,
stays bitchy.
He turns into like usefulness at least.
Yeah, but like some of the other characters, I forget everyone's name. I think he's got like white hair. The really cocky dude ends up becoming like super afraid as he sees people die.
After he
and
sees
then ends up just saying, "All right, I'm not the leader anymore, but tell me what I need to do." Shit like that happens, and I think there's good character development in the show.
I mean, I'm not denying it's not entertaining, but I'd put it on the same level as like a Marvel movie. It's just entertainment, but it annoys me that a series with the quality of Attack on Titan, which what I think isn't fantastic, got as popular as it did. That's why I feel like so many people dislike it, because the vast majority of anime watchers are like just in shock, or were in shock.
Yeah.
By the fact that everyone knew about it.
I think part of it, what it might be, is like people that watch a lot of anime, people that I've seen like catalogs like yourself, they have so much to compare to that when they see something that isn't necessarily bad, but when they see it get the praise that other shows maybe didn't get the praise of, that they think are better or should have been higher praised, is that part of the problem? Like, is that what spurs
like other
the emotion?
Stuff you think deserves the spotlight that
like
Attack
for
on
me,
Titan kind of
I don't like pop music for a lot of reasons, and I think it's very similar.
It's always topping the charts.
Where I don't see why it's topping the charts when there's so much more. Like pop songs, I don't hate. There's a lot of pop songs I don't like, but I don't hate all pop songs. Like some of them are catchy as fuck.
Shake It Off.
Yeah, oh hell yeah,
Yeah, Shake It Off is the best.
Oh my gosh.
If you don't like Shake It Off, you're lying.
Yeah, but that's not necessarily a bad song, but there's so many better songs that didn't get the attention it did.
Sure. I mean, and I feel like this question, like someone could just replace with, hey, why do so many people hate Sword Art Online? It's the best. It has all this great character development.
God, because it's so bad, dude.
See, but I feel, I put Sword Art and Attack on Titan on the exact same level.
Oof.
Wow.
That hurt, dude.
I'm sorry, that's how I see it.
I don't think it hurts. I think it's weird.
I don't know, because
real weird.
Like, honestly, the first, like, 2 episodes, it set up a really cool storyline. Like,
Which one?
Well, the idea of, like, you know, being stuck in a video game. I think that's a cool, because that, like...
Well,
that's just
that's just the premise. It's an awesome premise, but there's a lot of shows.
Well,
that
the idea
better.
like you die in the game, you die in real life, and then you have to like you beat it and you get freed or whatever. I thought that was a pretty cool concept, but then, like, I'll admit I stopped at like episode 13, but it seems like one of those shows where the main character was like always way too strong for whatever reason. He always had like something to pull out of his ass every single time.
It's because he was the fastest, dude. If you were the fastest, you'd understand.
Like, he's finally about to lose, and he's like, oh yeah, I've been able to dual wield for like 20 levels, but I've never pulled it out till now.
That's like typical shonen
But that happens every episode.
Yeah.
There's something
Every
else.
single episode.
I think one of my biggest problems with a show like SAO is there's, in my opinion, like, no character progression. Like, it never changes. Like, the character is just constant. The only thing that changes is the setting, and it's sometimes interesting.
Some of the settings are pretty cool, I will agree. But like at episode like 11 or 12 or something, he decides to like marry the girl or something, and then they adopt a kid, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm so done with this shit.
Do you want to move on?
Next question.
All right. This one's interesting. Another anonymous user asks, what do you think about the use of minors or children in sexual themes in anime? I feel a lot of Westerners feel like it shouldn't be allowed or legal, and I also have kind of controversial feelings about it. But in the context of anime, and I guess Japanese culture, I was wondering what your opinion is.
Jeremy should have been here for this question.
Should he? Why?
Jeremy is, I think
He
of
jokes
us,
about
the one
it.
that is the most okay with it, even in a joking manner. I don't think he actually has anything
Yeah.
against it.
Like, he used to always make jokes where, like, he would say, "Oh, that character's so hot," and we'd be like, "Jeremy, she's 13," and he'd be like, 13. We're like, "Jeremy,
Yeah,
what the
baby,
fuck?"
she's so 13.
Yeah, like,
Well,
I think it's kind of weird, but at the same time, personal tastes, I think it's weird. There have been shows that I was turned off from completely. There was one this season, but I forget what it was called.
I think the Monogatari series has something like that.
It was like Twin Star Exorcist. I think that's what it was called.
yeah.
Yeah. One of the big things that turned me off in Twin Star Exorcist was that it was a love story between, like, really young people.
Oh, no, see, I think that's kind of getting off topic because, like, I really admire, like, young love stories in anime. I feel like that kind of pure and innocent feeling. Like,
think
in...
there's a
but
difference.
it's
No,
not,
that's what I'm
but
saying.
In Twin Exorcist, it's not like even a love story though. It's like they are
being
supposed
forced to marry. But
Yeah.
that's...
I don't know. Like, and I understand like the nature of the question was a little bit different because it's not necessarily talking about two young people.
Well, I think what they're getting at is, in anime, there are so many unexpected, like, 12 and 13-year-olds. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you would be able to picture her off the top of your head, but Kabaneri, that's airing this season, the main girl, do you know what she looks like?
I might.
She, I just found out, is only 12 years old. And that happens in a lot of anime, where you don't really question their age, you just kind of assume it's like 16. But
Until they get driven somewhere, and you're like, wait.
yeah, exactly.
I think it's weird, but I don't want to judge like an entire culture. I know culture there is really different, especially when it comes to like siblings. There's almost like it's natural for there to be like a strong affection between like a brother and sister. That's
They make it seem like that in anime, but
Yeah.
you can't just assume
is that
that
not?
Japanese...
I thought that's the reason why. That's
Like,
how I like
no,
made
I-
sense of it.
I feel like that's just like Japanese authors trying to make the audience feel like, I
Like,
don't
if
know.
you have those feelings, they're
Right,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
12?
12.
Wow.
She looks like a DBZ character.
This is why Jeremy likes 12-year-olds.
But, okay, if I had to
She
throw
looks like
out
Chi-Chi's
an
daughter.
extreme generalization as to why the sexualization of children is a thing so much in anime, it might be because the age of consent in Japan is 13.
What?
So it is, I think, a somewhat... I don't want to throw out generalizations, but
Yeah.
I feel like it is somewhat of a cultural thing, in addition to the fact that the concept of moe, at least in anime, is so prevalent. And if you don't know, moe is this kind of... I don't know, worshipping, in a sense, of things that are pure and innocent and youthful
Yeah,
and
that's
cute.
the idea where it's like the characters can't date because then they're not pure anymore.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that applies to, like, Japanese idols as well.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah, I heard stories of like there was a Japanese some artist or some shit.
Like a pop star.
Yeah, and
Okay,
she started.
picture-
She finally went public on like she was in a relationship, and she started getting death threats
Oh, yeah,
from like
dude.
everybody. They were like, "Oh, you're a slut," and everyone's like, "What?"
Aren't there people that had to like quit, like stop being a
14.
pop star because of that?
14?
Oh, Lucky Star?
Yeah,
They're
they're
supposed
14.
to be 14.
Yeah.
I thought the idea was that they were in like elementary school.
No.
Really?
Really? See? Surprise. Evangelion characters, they're 14.
Yeah,
That
I
one
need that
I
one.
remember.
Yeah, I think I do think it's a bit odd, but I think I've seen enough anime to where I know it's almost like an anime trope now, to where it doesn't really affect me as much.
I think it's when they're obviously underage. Like if you draw like okay, so I know that the aging seems to be weird. Like the Lucky Star characters look like they're 5 or 6, and they're 14, and then the Evangelion characters look like they could be 18. So I assume that they're 18. But then like is it the Monogatari series where it has that character that's like looks like a 10-year-old girl and she's like 1,000 or something?
Right. And that's played off a lot. Like, I think there's a character in Railgun who is a teacher who looks like she's 8 or
Same
10.
thing in Hunter
and
x Hunter.
she's... Yeah, exactly. And she's older. And I feel like that's like, they're just playing a card like, just kidding, you can't be offended by this.
Yeah.
And that's cheating because they know what they're doing.
I think it's less about the age and more about the age they're drawn and like developed to look as.
Right. Exactly.
Well, aren't there this is an extreme, but wasn't lolly legal for at least some period of time, and like at least it was somewhat recently made illegal?
Yeah, child pornography in Japan, I don't want to, I could be completely wrong, so forgive me.
Yeah.
But I feel like child pornography was a lot more, I don't want to say it was
Not accepted,
legal,
but
Frowned upon?
frowned upon, I guess.
yeah.
But was...
It's illegal now.
Yeah, I know it
I
is
thought
now.
that lolly was... I thought there were two definitions. One was like a style. Like a...
You're thinking of Lolita.
Okay. And then...
And lolly is not an abbreviation for Lolita.
Okay, and then the other one is that it wasn't lolly specifically animated versus actual...
That's what I thought, yeah.
I don't know. I had never heard that.
Yeah, I thought it was specifically like animated child, not necessarily pornography, but that's probably associated with.
Oh no, I thought it was
Well-
specifically pornography.
I thought it was just like in like sexual themes, maybe not necessarily.
Like etchy, but with children.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, if I'm gonna give my opinion, I would say, personally, I do think it's wrong. I don't think for just obvious reasons children should not be sexualized regardless.
right.
But in anime, I have the self-awareness to know, like, it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't.
I can put it aside, but I'd rather it not be there if
Yes,
I could help it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a good question.
That was a good
That
question.
was.
The next question is from Knives Chow. This is my friend Katrina, and too bad Jeremy's not here because Jeremy actually met her like 2 years ago when we went to Anime Expo. But she asks, which anime series has had the biggest influence on each of you and why?
Biggest influence.
I don't want to answer this first
Okay.
because I have like a cop-out answer.
What's your cop-out answer?
Dragon Ball Z, just because it was like the first anime I got into, and like it basically shaped my taste for how I like what I watched in terms of media. Like I never watched anime before that, so I think, I feel like it's almost cop-outy because of course you're gonna
a
pick
lot
the
of
first
people-
anime you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to think of a better
lot
answer.
of people, the first anime that they saw was Dragon Ball Z. So better
At least
question.
in the Western
Right.
world, yeah.
Well,
Right.
what about the first anime you've seen that you went out and found yourself, as opposed to watching on Toonami, just kind of randomly popping up?
That's fair.
Because for me, that was Gurren Lagann, but I don't want. That was not the most influential anime I've watched.
Well, for me, I have a few different answers. One of them was similar to what you said in terms of what determined like what style I like. Fooly Cooly really had a big impact on how I liked my shows to be visually. That kind of determined my aesthetic. That was the influence it had on me. If it had to be a show that impacted me, what I physically did, like changes in my life, it would be Bleach, because Bleach encouraged me to like work out and exercise. And I wanted to be like these buff
to be
anime boys.
Ichigo.
Yeah, I know. And then I feel like, and this is kind of going on a more serious note, the show that had the greatest like psychological impact on me was Evangelion, because I watched it during high school, and actually during high school I did kind of suffer from like slight depression at the time, and it did help me kind of process some things.
Are you gonna
So-
stick with Gurren Lagann?
No. As far as influential, I'm gonna go with what made me say, all right, this is a medium that I can like actually enjoy and I can keep watching. This isn't like just something I'll watch one anime and then just be done with it. This is what made me take it seriously as a medium, as opposed to everyone's thoughts of anime being like for children or being nothing but like sexualized characters. And that would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, because after watching that, I was like, wow, anime really can have, just like film, it can have amazing stories, character development, and like stick with you, I can't think of how to phrase it, but like it sticks with you.
Right.
You think about the soundtrack, you think about the animation, you're like, wow, this is on par with cinema. This is something I can go rewatch. Or
I'll probably give most influential anime to me for similar reasons, Steins Gate. And the reason I'm going to give it to it is because I was introduced to anime. Like, basically what got me into it was basically Dragon Ball Z, right? That's what drove me into it. And so because that formed my taste and my style, everything I watched until that point had that shonen feel. It had that kind of main characters of badass all the time feel. but I think Steins Gate was probably the first anime I watched where, what is it, a seinen?
I think so.
Yeah, it was the first thing I saw that basically wasn't a shonen. And I think that affected me the most because I would intentionally only watch the shows I knew I would like.
Right.
I wasn't sure if I was going to like Steins Gate. I think Hunter was the one that decided to get me into it, and then I started watching it, fell in love. Like, I was amazed with how good it was. And I think that really opened my mind to what anime could be and kind of broadened my horizons on what I would watch. And since then, I've watched shit tons of weird stuff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember I watched, like, I cut, like, 1 through 12 in a day, and I messaged you on Skype the next day. I was like, dude, watch Steins Gate. You need to watch this
I think I waited a couple months, too. I was like, oh, I'll get to
pass
it.
on it. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, seriously, you'll love this shit. I promise.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that about wraps it up for questions. So for the last few minutes, let's talk about what we've been watching.
I finally caught back up with my series, except for Kiznaiver. So I'm not up to date on that. But, ooh boy, as far as Bungo Stray Dogs and...
No.
What?
What episode?
The most recent one, the boat one.
That's when I started disliking it. Like
What?
even more so.
Why?
It came out of nowhere.
Out of left field?
Like in a bad way. I feel like we missed.
Was it just
like,
because suddenly
5
he's all powerful and can like control his
Sure,
shit?
but not just powerful, but even in terms of his personality. Like, I feel like we skipped 5 episodes of character development.
Well, I think, I understand what
I'm like,
you mean.
where is this coming from?
Okay, well, like the episode before, when do you remember what the girl's name is?
No.
I just know she was like White Snow or something like that.
Yeah.
So, the girl who has the power, like when he was out with her, you know through the whole series he's like struggling his inner demons, finding acceptance, like all that, sure, whatever. But then he meets someone who he realizes is struggling with the same demons, but she handles it in a different way. And then when she's in danger, he basically he realizes that it doesn't matter and it's going to be whatever he chooses to make of it, and he's going to make himself a fucking G. And he goes off on the guy. Oh my god, I thought it was dope.
That is just completely out of his character.
I know, well, yeah, like, I will admit it was kind of rushed. Like, I'm not going to say it wasn't, but was it cool? Yeah.
No, sure, as an action scene...
Yeah, that's my thought
Hunter,
process.
you get out of here. Like, as an action scene, sure, it was entertaining. As a series, it came out of nowhere.
Okay, well, Hero Academia, what'd you think of that? Because I thought it was almost drawn out. I thought the last episode was extremely drawn out. It was where they're going in training with Goggles Guy and 13 or whatever her name is, the spacesuit chick, astronaut lady, and all of the villains.
I think it's a guy.
Is it a
the
guy?
Black Hole?
Yeah, I thought Black Hole was a chick.
I think Black Hole's a guy.
All right, well, a bunch of villains break in.
Right.
They attack everyone, and then they separate everybody.
Into the different danger zones.
Right, and so, main character dude, I'm bad with names.
So am I.
Yeah.
Scrub, Deku.
Yeah, Deku, there we go. Deku and Ribbit and, like, the weird guy that throws rubber sticky balls out of his hair. Like, they all get stuck on a boat. Yeah, you're wincing because you haven't seen the show.
Hunter,
it's
this
really good.
entire time, Hunter is giving
I'm just
these...
imagining like a dude with an afro, but it's made of sticky balls.
Okay,
It's just-
honestly,
Honestly,
it.
kind of.
That's
Actually,
spot
yeah.
on. Yes.
Spot on. Yeah, like, real good. Yeah, so they're attacked by all the villains, and then Deku knows that if he tries to fight back, he's gonna, like, kill himself.
Sure,
and
okay.
he
What
devises
was your opinion on that?
a little drawn out, but I'm so excited for where it's going to go. Just because I think the development of the characters in this show particularly is amazing, because you see Deku's progression versus Macho guy, whatever the fuck his name is. His degression, and I think that's really interesting. And slowly but surely, Deku's like gaining more control over his power and learning how to not kill himself, or at least kill himself in small pieces at a time. It's so cool. I really, really like it.
Yeah, me too. See, it is the opposite of Stray Dogs.
I enjoyed both of them.
Okay, that's fine.
Hunter, are you watching anything?
I'm not.
Well,
When was the last time you watched? What was the most recent anime you've watched?
The most recent anime, just anything, movies included.
And this is not including like oh, I watched this 2 weeks ago. I'm talking about in terms of, like, upon its release. What is the newest anime you've seen?
Oh, in terms of release, the only thing I think I've watched as it released was Attack on Titan.
That's fine. That's we don't need to hate. I mean, that's completely fine. People don't watch anime as it's airing.
Yeah.
Actually,
I always watch it a season late
Hang on.
so I can binge the
Attack
season.
on Titan and Kill la Kill, which came second?
Kill Kill.
Okay, so Kill la Kill then.
Kill la Kill came out after Attack on Titan?
Pretty sure.
They're both 2013, I think.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to talk about Across Delta. Like, there are...
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Do I need
shows...
to, like, watch it?
No. But I just feel like it's not...
Let's talk about it.
It's not getting enough attention. Like, there are 20 shows I could talk about this season. I just don't want to restrict ourselves to things that you're only watching things
Go
like
for it.
that.
I'd love to hear about Across Delta.
Well, Macross is a pretty big franchise. Like, it started...
Okay, yeah.
Cross?
Yeah,
Macross. It
it's
started-
a racing series, right?
No.
What? What is it?
What are you thinking of?
Probably, I don't know. Wait,
I
what's
was thinking
Macross? Is it a
swords.
robot thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
Macross is a pretty big franchise. It started way back in the 80s, but I won't get into like the history of it. In the Macross franchise, there is a virus that goes around and contaminates these different alien species, and the only way to cure it or suppress it is through song. So there's this very intense military aesthetic of like trying to fight off these aliens, but
Can it be any song?
no.
Not
But-
any song.
but in the
So it can't be
background-
just like,
That's-
robots
this sounds
doing
very-
can.
This sounds
It's
very
close. It's
Legend
close.
of Zelda and
What?
like Ocarina.
No. So there are these pop idols that like the military essentially keeps with them to sing during these battles. And it's so ridiculous.
I mean, that'd be kind
Do
of
they
dope
have
if
like
like
mics?
Yeah.
so like are there
they're pop
fight scenes
idols.
where just baby metal bursts through the doors and like just sing in the background to make them
Right.
weaker?
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
that's dope.
Yeah.
Dude, the Bard class is finally useful.
I
Hell
know.
yeah, there was a show I used to watch, not technically an anime, I think it was an American show, maybe it was an anime, I didn't realize it, but it was these rockers in space and they had to fight against aliens
oh my
or whatever.
God. Yes.
And there was a guy who had the main character was obviously the lead rock and guitar guy, and he would like strum his guitar and lightning would come out of it,
Wasn't
and
that
he would shoot people
a
down.
mini show on the Powderpuff Girls? And there was, hear me out.
Honestly, it
Hang on.
might be, I have no
No.
idea.
No, it was called the Super Friends, and and the main guy was like a guitarist, like a metalhead, and his
He
name
was
was
like Van Halen or something.
yeah, it was a
You're
pun on Van
thinking
Halen.
you're thinking
Yeah.
of Dexter's Laboratory.
Dexter's
Right,
Laboratory.
yeah.
Yeah, no, this is not that. I forget what the band's name is, but I know what you're talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. This was its own show.
So yeah,
But
I don't
you
know.
can't.
I don't know if I sold that, but the ridiculousness of the show, in addition to some of its more serious moments, has been like incredibly entertaining.
That sounds pretty entertaining.
It's just
I'll
not
give it
getting
that.
enough love.
I'll give it a shot.
Maybe
I'll
it's
watch
just
first
the
episode
maybe
this
it's just the
week.
music that you're
The first-
liking. A lot of people say that
Yeah?
good music can make something not interesting interesting.
Really?
That's
Sam, who
that's
says
really
that?
interesting.
This guy I know. What's
Uh-huh.
his? Oh yeah, Kyle.
What?
Huh?
Kyle, you think music can make a bad anime good?
No.
What did you think of Guilty Crown?
There's a difference between like a soundtrack and like a musical number. Thanks for listening, everyone. We really appreciate some of the feedback we've been getting. A lot of positive comments. It's been really great. Please keep asking us more questions on my Tumblr at Secret Otaku, Twitter at theweeabooze, and our Gmail, theweeabooze@gmail.com.
You made Twitter and a Gmail.
Oh yeah, we got
Yeah.
a tweeter. We tweet.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just in case. We're also on iTunes. Please give us a review. What else? We want
Not
to
a
thank...
bad review though.
No, bad reviews are fine.
No,
Just
they're
give
not.
Sam a bad review.
Give Sam a bad review.
Just give me a bad review.
Just fuck Sam up with a review.
We want to thank Hentai Dude for our intro music, and we want to thank Kid Boo for our outro music. What else? I think that's about it.
I want to thank the Academy.
I
No.
want to thank Sam's mom.
For what?
Fuck does that mean, Hunter?
Just, she's a great lady.
We'll see you guys next week. See ya.
Bye guys.
You can catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling so high like I'm Hoa when I tower. Take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot. That's kamikaze. Sacred fire, don't be mad, I'm lit. Catch me smoking a sour off the coast of Okinawa. Feeling feeling so high like I'm Ho-Oh in that tower, take a flight on some shit. Got my dogs riding beside me, blazing hot, that's kamikaze. Sacred fire, don't be mad, I'm lit.
What's that from?
Supersonico.
That's Supersonico.
Even Hunter knows. Hunter knows the quality
she's
stuff.
big booby pink haired girl. I don't think she's actually in a show.
Well,
Is she?
yeah,
What show?
Supersonico.
You can see her nipples.
I should have seen that coming.